long ball number one here on Morning Kick Around for Wednesday, July 2nd, the first show here in July 2025. I'm Robert. He's Jason. Tonight, the Gold Cup Semifinal. USA takes on Guatemala. Guatemala, big game for them. Haven't been to this stage of the competition since, I think, the 90s. This USA version of this team growing in stature, perhaps, after a gritty quarterfinal PK win. What are your thoughts heading into this game? I want to ask what you think about this team in general at this stage, but what do you think about the game, first of all?
Yeah, Guatemala hasn't been in a semifinal since new metal was a thing. That's how long ago that was. Obviously a big deal for Guatemala. The United States is supposed to win this game, and that brings a certain level of potential letdown or not meeting the moment. I do think there's that. But I think that there was something shown in that Costa Rica victory, Rob, that this team knows how to fight for this, that they're not going to be out CONCACAF'd in this tournament. I think that's probably a lesson we've learned. They have the quality to win the game. They are better than Guatemala. I'm not saying anything controversial with that. I mean, shout out to Rubio Rubin and what they did against Canada, but this is an American team that is better throughout. If they play smart soccer, they don't make mistakes, particularly at the back. They should be okay. Don't find yourself chasing the game, and you should be okay. I don't want to dismiss Guatemala, and that was such a big moment for them against Canada, but they actually are due for the letdown, right? Emotionally, it's going to be really tough for them in this game. I could easily see this being a 3-0 U.S. victory, a relatively comfortable 3-0 U.S. victory in this game. I don't know that that's going to happen, but my sense is that that if I was going to place a bet on this game, it'd be something like that.
I'm curious, Nate, why are you scared to say this, that the USA will win the game? Is it the confidence in the team, or you're scared that they'll advance? I'm curious to know what your fear, where's the basis of your fear coming from?
Yeah, we're all afraid a little bit, just in life. The world is scary. No, but I imagine that Nate's with me. Like it always feels weird to be confident because you set yourself up for disappointment if the team does not meet that confidence with a result. And this team is not as much as they've grown through this tournament. I think that is fair. It's still not like we're the finished product and like, oh, look, they're humming along and they're firing all cylinders. It took penalty kicks to beat Costa Rica. I mean, Costa Rica missing their best player or their best goal scorer, at least in that match. And still, they pushed the United States to the brink, and it required Matt Freese being an incredible shot stopper with the penalty kick shootout to win that game. So I understand Nate. Nate and I understand. We understand each other. I'm trying to be rational on top of just like that wave of confidence around the team that I do feel. And but I think that this team is that much better than Guatemala. And while Canada could be argued to be better than Guatemala, Canada picked up a red card and was playing a half down a man and just never seemed to understand the tenor of that game. And I think the United States is better in that situation. Now, here's a good question from Bernardo. What changes would you make to the starting lineup, if any, Rob? Do you have any thoughts on starting lineup for the U.S. men tonight?
I have actually enjoyed how there's been a consistency of the picks, kind of just like letting players kind of ride it out, so to speak. I mean, Agyemang, Pochettino's shown a lot of confidence in him. And, talking it through, I'm not sure what changes I would make from the quarterfinal unless there was some players that maybe picked up a knock or fatigued or anything like that. But the selection that he made for the quarterfinal round seemed very sound, and I really didn't have anything to nitpick from what he did there. Maybe Arfston, maybe, he was, big ups, big downs with him. Do we like his excitement level? Is he a liability? It's that's kind of where my curiosity is kind of lies, the Arfston pick. And then trying to think about who might be a nice combo in the middle of the
Let me address that real quick. Let me address that. So when we were talking about this lineup ahead of the Costa Rica game, when we saw the lineup, a lot of us, including myself, looked at that midfield and went, "Oh, what is going on there exactly? Why is he playing a double pivot with Malik Tillman? You had Sebastian Berhalter, and we thought Berhalter was going to be in the midfield, that this was going to be basically a three-man midfield of guys who kind of all have the same basic profile. Or, if Berhalter is more of an attacking number 10, number 8 kind of option, they can play both sides of the ball. We know Adams is a 6. We know De La Torre he can advance the ball, but is he the guy to pick a lock, that kind of stuff. Obviously, they pushed Berhalter wide, and Malik Tillman stayed central, and it worked for the most part on the attacking end of the field. It worked. Again, they gave up 2 goals because of the Max Arston experience, but there was, for the most part, good stuff there. If he played this exact same lineup, I think I'd be okay with that. On the evidence that we got from the quarterfinal against Costa Rica. If I didn't know that Sebastian Berhalter was going to be playing in a half space position out wide or in that flank, then maybe I would be like, oh, no, this is not what I want to see. But because of the way this played against Costa Rica, I could see it working again against Guatemala. I will point out that in terms of injury, the only thing I've heard is that Johnny Cardoso is dealing with something. Obviously, he did not play against Costa Rica, and I wouldn't expect him to be inserted in this lineup now and shake up the chemistry that is there. McGlynn started a number of games in the group stage, did not start this game. Came on the 83rd minute as a substitute. Could I see McGlynn over Berhalter this time around? Sure, that is possible. I think for the most part, though, outside of that question at left back, and if you want me to say what I'm comfortable with, it might be John Tolkien, who's a better defender, although he doesn't bring supreme confidence either. But I think Pochettino doesn't care about that. He wants Arfston to get up the field. He wants that danger. He wants the wildness of that attacking element, and he will take what comes defensively and hopefully and ask other guys to help cover for what Arfston is leaving in behind. And again, it didn't work against Costa Rica twice, but it kind of did work in the sense that Arfston got a goal and was involved in the other one.
I did notice at least one comment when we were reviewing Sunday's quarterfinals. There was a comment or two about the Tyler Adams performance, and if you or I had any concern over the way he performed on Sunday. I mean, I thought it was a pretty typical Tyler Adams performance. He got around a lot, broke up some stuff, not like amazing passing. I mean, do you see any dip there?
I didn't think he was great. I was a little underwhelmed with his performance. He is such a physical presence, though, with the ground he covers and the defensive work that he does, that I think you kind of have to take the good with the bad. If he was just a little bit better of a passer, Tyler Adams would be damn near world class. But he lacks something. Now, he made it work within the context of that game. And obviously against Guatemala, you expect the United States to have the lion's share of possession again. So as long as you're not making terrible mistakes in your own defensive half, you should be okay. So I don't think he was great, Rob, but I don't think that you can justify taking him out of the lineup.
The one other final note about what changes might we make, you mentioned Sebastian Berhalter. Maybe his head has been turned, maybe not focused on this game because of all the rumors to Bayern Munich that have been swirling around.
Sebastian Berhalter to Bayern Munich?
Yeah, I saw that online yesterday. Some rumors of Bayern Munich sniffing around Sebastian Berhalter, which, internet, you need clicks, right?
I had not heard that. What a surprise and interesting thing that would be. All right.
That would really be something. That would really be something, wouldn't it? And just a quick, like off the cuff sort of question before we move on from the Gold Cup semifinal tonight. Have you enjoyed this iteration of the team?
Yeah, I have. I think that there are a couple of players who make it, right? Diego Luna is one of them, right? Diego Luna is a player that you just can't help but root for. I still have my issues with Malik Tillman in particular, and I talked to Jeff Carlisle of ESPN on the radio on Monday about this. It seems as though Malik Tillman is very affected by what happens on the field. Like his head dropped after the penalty kick miss.
Oh yeah,
now,
definitely.
He got back in it, but I just worry about that potential part of it. Like it's very hard for him to forget it and move on. He is an emotional guy. So I worry about it, but that also makes me want to root for him, right? That paternal thing comes out. Now you're like, oh, come on, Malik, you can do it. You got this. Come on, buddy, get back in there. I think Chris Richards is an incredibly likable player. Maybe one of the most likable players we've had in a very long time. And I like, I like a lot of this group in terms of, again, they're strivers, Rob. Right, the effort. We talked so long about how it didn't feel like the European-based guys were putting in the effort. These guys are working. They're putting in every bit of effort they can. Patrick Agyemang can never be accused of not putting in a shift.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a touch or decision making, sure, but effort, not a chance at all. So tonight, USA versus Guatemala, and then followed by Mexico,